Jeff here with Digital Trends, and we're taking a look at the Sony Xperia Tablet S. This is Sony's second big stab at the tablet market. Last year it released just the Tablet S, no Xperia. That was before they split with Sony Ericsson. And this follows a similar design structure. So as you can see, it's got, runs Android, of course, and the screen kind of folds right over the edge there. So the plastic kind of folds right back on the back. It makes you feel like you want to peel it out, but it does not peel out that way. So it's attached there. It's just a design feature. But on this version, on the last version, it was a little thick. Didn't really work very well. On this version, it actually does. It makes it actually easier to hold in a vertical orientation. I have no real complaints about using it with that fold on the back there. It makes it a little bit thicker on one end than the other. It's about as thin as an iPad on the area without the fold. So on the back we've got aluminum casing, which is nice, dual stereo speakers, and we've got a proprietary charging port, which we wish it was micro USB, but companies seem to like proprietary charging ports, which is no fun, because if you lose your charger, you're done for. So on the left side here, we've got a full SD reader, which is nice, full SD slot. Headphone jack. Pretty rare to see a full SD slot. Usually see micro SD, if anything at all. And on the right side here, we've got volume and power. So the power button we've had a little bit of trouble with. Overall, these are easy to mix up too if you're just feeling for them. So you have to kind of make sure you have the top button if you want to get power. And overall, the build quality has been nice. We've had a few issues. As you can, there's a certain area that we can press that makes a squeaking sound, which is a little odd, at least in our review unit here. And we can also flex it a little too much, almost to the point of breaking the screen there. That's not a lot of effort I put into flexing that, so that's a little scary. As far as software features, we've got a pretty tame build of Android here. This is Android 4.0. They haven't done a whole lot to it. They've added some new Sony apps, Walkman app, Music Unlimited, which is nice. The Sony's Reader app, which is, comparative to the Kindle and the Nook apps. But they've added a new guest mode, which is kind of a new feature. Barnes & Noble is introducing something similar, a little more robust in their upcoming Nooks. But basically you can make a new profile for different people in your family. So if you have a kid or your wife or anybody else who might want to use this tablet, we've created a family mode there. And it will actually restrict, you can pick and choose which apps. So I've only picked a few apps there that I wanted to go. And then if you want to get back, you just enter a password. And it'll take you right back there. So that's guest mode. It's pretty cool. There are a few limitations. You cannot have separate email accounts on each profile, which is something the upcoming Nook will have. That's a little sad because if you allow access to, say, the Gmail app, your kid will totally be able to get into your email. Sony reps told me one possible solution is to use a separate browser and install a separate email client, or a bunch of them, so that every person can just use a totally separate app. I kind of wish they would have fiddled around with Android a little bit more to make that work a little better. Overall, the UI is pretty smooth, pretty fast. We did a quadrant test. It got about a 4,000. Probably doesn't mean much to you. Basically, it means it's about mid-range for tablets this year. Should be able to run most games you want to play, do most multitasking. It's a pretty good tablet, pretty good Android tablet. And the final thing we'll show you real quick here is these little mini apps. So Samsung has done these before too. Basically, it's just a little menu that'll bring up tiny little apps that you can drag around the screen here, and it's kind of a form of multitasking. The cool thing about what Sony's doing is you can actually use any widget from your device. Like, so any app you install that has a widget, you can take that and turn it into a brand new Well, if it pops up. Is that it? Yeah, so you can turn it into one of these. Obviously, I don't have any bookmarks right now, so that's not going to work very well. But it's compatible with any widget you have, any app. So that's a little nice, kind of a feature you're not going to use very often. But when you do, if you do, it's there and it works universally, unlike Samsung's, which only runs a few different apps. So overall, that's kind of a quick look at the Sony Xperia Tablet S. Not a bad tablet. Few issues we've had hardware-wise. We had a Wi-Fi issue too that you can read in the review. But if you can get over some of the hardware and technical issues, not a bad tablet. Good screen size. The Sony Xperia Tablet S.